Okay, so my GE Washer Model GUD27ESSM1WW has been driving me crazy lately.
Oh,
It's
no.
like it just gave up on spinning. My
Oh.
clothes are coming out soaking wet, and I have a mountain of laundry piling up. It's a spin cycle mystery I need help solving.
Oh, I hear you. Soggy laundry is the worst.
Right.
Sounds like we need to do a bit of detective work here
Yeah.
to figure out what's causing your washer to skip out on the spin cycle.
So where do we even begin?
Well, a washer that isn't spinning properly usually points to a problem with one of the key components.
Okay.
Responsible for that spinning action could be a worn-out clutch, a faulty gear case,
Mm-hmm.
or even an issue with the drive belt. They're all essential for getting that spin cycle going.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But how can I tell which one of those is the culprit?
You can play detective.
Okay.
By listening carefully during the spin cycle, do you hear any unusual noises like grinding or clunking?
Hmm. Now that you mention it, I think I have heard some strange noises lately. Nothing too loud,
Okay.
but definitely not the usual hum.
That's a valuable clue. While those sounds might point to a clutch or gear case issue, it's always best to have a trained eye take a look.
Okay.
To get a definitive diagnosis, a professional can inspect those components and pinpoint the problem.
All right, so let's say it is the clutch or the gear case.
Okay.
What's involved in fixing it? Is it a major surgery for my washer?
Well, it's not exactly open heart surgery, but it does require some technical know-how.
Okay.
Replacing the clutch or gear case involves a few steps.
Okay.
First things first, safety. Make sure to unplug the washer and turn off the water supply before doing anything.
Yep.
Then we'd need to remove the control panel and the outer housing to access the clutch and gear case.
Mm-hmm.
The clutch is usually near the base of the drum, and the gear case is attached to the washer's base. We'd replace the faulty part, put everything back together,
Right.
and run a test cycle to make sure it's spinning like a champ.
Okay, that's a bit more involved than I thought. So
Yeah.
realistically, how long would a repair like that take?
Typically, diagnosing and fixing the clutch or gear case can take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours.
Okay.
Of course, the exact time can vary depending on the complexity of the issue and how easily we can access those components,
Yeah.
but we'll work as efficiently as possible to get your washer back in tip-top shape.
2 to 4 hours. That's not too bad.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say we get this fixed. Is there anything I can do to prevent this spin cycle drama from happening again?
I'm happy to share my laundry-saving secrets.
Please?
The best way to prevent future problems is to show your washer some love with regular maintenance.
Okay.
Always make sure to distribute clothes evenly in the drum and avoid overloading it.
Okay.
Those unbalanced loads can put a lot of stress on those crucial spinning components.
Gotcha.
Also, keep an ear out for any unusual noises or leaks and get them checked out sooner rather than later.
Okay.
And if you really want to be proactive, you can schedule an annual checkup for your washer. Consider it a spa day for your appliance.
Okay. I'll definitely try to be more mindful of those things.
Right.
But here's the million-dollar question. Is it worth fixing? Or should I just cut my losses and get a new washer? Help me make this tough decision.
That's a great question and one we hear a lot.
Yeah.
If your washer is relatively new and hasn't given you much trouble besides the spin cycle issue, repairing it is usually the most cost-effective option.
Okay.
But if it's an older model that's been on the fritz before,
Right.
investing in a new washer might be the smarter move in the long run.
Okay.
To help you decide, I can give you a cost estimate for the repair after we take a look at your washer.
That'd be super helpful.
Yeah.
So ballpark figure, how much are we talking here for a fix?
Well, the cost can vary depending on factors like labor rates and parts prices in your area. On average, replacing a clutch or gear case can range from $200 to $400, including both parts and labor. But don't worry, I'll give you a detailed quote after we've had a chance to assess your washer's specific needs.
Okay, that gives me a good starting point. But what happens if something goes wrong again after the repair?
I understand your concern.
Yeah.
At Fantastic Repairs, we stand behind our work. We offer a 90-day warranty on both parts and labor for this type of repair.
Okay.
So if any issues arise related to the repair within those 90 days, we'll take care of it at no additional cost to you.
Okay, that's reassuring to know. So if I decide to go ahead with the repair, how do I schedule an appointment with your awesome team?
It's super easy. You can give our office a call at 817-258-1163
Okay.
or visit our website at https://fantastic-repairs.square.site to book an appointment online.
Perfect.
We'll find a time that works best for you to come and take a look at your washer.
You know, while we've been talking, I've been thinking I'm a bit handy myself. Maybe I could tackle this repair on my own. How hard is it really to replace the clutch and gear case? On a scale of 1 to 10, How much trouble am I getting into?
That's a great question, but I'd rate this repair a solid 7 out of 10 on the difficulty scale.
Hmm.
It's not impossible, but it does involve disassembling a lot of components,
Right.
using specialized tools, and having a good grasp of mechanical skills. I always advise against DIY for this particular repair.
Okay. You've officially talked me out of it.
hmm
So if I do get this fixed, how long can I expect those new parts to last? Are we talking months, years, decades?
With proper care and those laundry tips we discussed, the new clutch and gear case should last you several years. Washing machines generally have a lifespan of around 10 years, and replacing these parts can definitely extend your machine's life. But again, remember those tips about balancing loads and avoiding overloading.
Right.
They'll go a long way in keeping your washer happy and spinning for years to come.
All right, good to know. So should I wait until things get really bad before calling you, or is it better to get this looked at sooner rather than later?
That's a smart question. I always recommend addressing any appliance issues as soon as you notice them.
When?
Waiting until things get really bad can often lead to more extensive damage and potentially higher repair costs down the road. Trust me, it's much better to catch these problems early and prevent a laundry catastrophe.
Okay, you've convinced me. Early intervention it is.
Sure.
One last thing before we move on. Can you tell me a little more about my specific washer model? Like any cool features or quirks I should know about, and how do I figure out when it was made?
Of course. Your GE Washer Model GUD27ESSM1WW is part of the unitized Spacemaker series. It's known for its efficient use of space, combining a 3.8 cubic foot washer and a 5.9 cubic foot dryer in a single unit, which is perfect for smaller laundry areas.
Okay.
To determine its manufacturing date, you'll need to find the serial number on your appliance. The serial number usually starts with 2 letters followed by 6 numbers.
Okay.
The first letter represents the month, and the second letter represents the year of manufacture.
Interesting. So I guess it's time to go on a serial number hunt. Wish me luck.
Good luck! And let me know what you find. We can decipher that code together and get a better understanding of your washer's history.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. While you're searching for that serial number, it's worth mentioning that the Unitized Spacemaker series was quite innovative for its time.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, back in the day, most washers and dryers were separate units, which took up a lot of space. The Unitized Spacemaker combined both appliances into one sleek unit, making it ideal for apartments or homes with limited laundry areas. It was a game changer for space-saving laundry solutions.
That makes sense. I guess that's why they call it the Spacemaker. So if I decide to replace my washer, what are some things I should consider? It feels like there are a million options out there.
You're right, the appliance world can be overwhelming. When choosing a new washer, think about your laundry habits and needs. Consider the capacity. Do you wash large loads or mostly smaller ones? Also think about energy efficiency. High-efficiency washers can save you money on your utility bills in the long run. And of course, there are all those fancy features to explore, like steam cycles for sanitizing allergen cycles for sensitive skin, and even Wi-Fi connectivity so you can control your washer from your phone.
Wow, Wi-Fi for my washer. That's next level.
Yeah.
So how do those high-efficiency washers compare to the traditional top loaders? Are they worth the hype?
High-efficiency washers have definitely become popular, and for good reason. They use less water and energy compared to those traditional top loaders, which is great for the environment and your wallet, but both types have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
High-efficiency machines generally have a longer lifespan, but they can be a bit trickier and more expensive to repair if something goes wrong. Top loaders, on the other hand, might be simpler to fix, but they might not be as gentle on your clothes or offer all the bells and whistles of newer models. It really comes down to your priorities and budget.
That's good to know. I guess I'll need to weigh those factors carefully. Speaking of budget, what's the price range for these newfangled washers?
Well, the cost of a new washer can vary widely depending on the brand, features, and type you choose. You can find basic top-load washers for under $500, while those high-tech, feature-packed models can go for upwards of $1,500 or more. It's a good idea to set a budget beforehand and then explore the options within that range.
All right, budget in mind. Any other words of wisdom before I dive into the world of washer shopping?
One thing I always recommend is doing your research. Read online reviews, compare features and prices, and don't be afraid to ask questions. It's a big investment, so you want to make sure you're choosing a washer that's going to meet your needs and last for years to come.
That's great advice. I'll definitely do my homework. Now, what about my old washer? If I decide to go for a new one, what's the best way to dispose of it responsibly? I wouldn't want it to end up in a landfill somewhere.
You're thinking the right way. It's important to dispose of appliances responsibly. Contact your local waste management facility or recycling center for guidance. They often have designated drop-off locations or might even offer pickup services for large appliances. Some retailers also offer appliance removal services when you purchase a new one from them. It's worth checking those options out as well. The main thing is to make sure it's handled properly and doesn't harm the environment.
Okay, that's all super helpful information. Thanks for walking me through this. I'm feeling a lot more informed and ready to tackle this washer dilemma head on.
You're very welcome. Remember, I'm here to help. Whether you decide to repair your current washer or embark on a new appliance adventure, I'm just a phone call away. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. You've been a lifesaver. Now I'm off to continue my serial number quest and ponder the pros and cons of Washer World. Wish me luck.
Good luck with your search. And hey, even if you don't find that serial number, we can still figure out the best solution for you. Don't stress too much about it.
Okay, so I think I've narrowed down my options. It's either fixing my current washer or taking the plunge and getting a new one. What are your final thoughts?
It sounds like you've been doing your homework. That's great. Ultimately, the decision is yours, but I can offer some final advice.
Lay it on me.
If your current washer has been reliable in the past and this is its first major issue, repairing it might be the most economical choice, especially if it's still under warranty or if you have a trusted technician who can do the job for a reasonable price.
That makes sense. But what if I decide to go for a brand spanking new washer? Any last-minute tips before I head to the appliance store?
Absolutely. Remember to measure your laundry space carefully before you go shopping. You don't want to fall in love with a washer that doesn't fit through your doorway or cram up your laundry area. Also, think about the features that matter most to you. Do you need a steam cycle allergen settings or a super speedy wash option? Prioritize those features when comparing models.
Okay, noted. I'll definitely keep those measurements handy, and I'll make a list of must-have features. Anything else?
One more thing, don't be afraid to negotiate. Appliance prices can be flexible, especially if you're buying during a sale or if you're willing to haggle a bit. You might be surprised at the deals you can snag.
All right, I'll channel my inner negotiator. You've been incredibly helpful throughout this entire process. I feel so much more confident about tackling this washer situation.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to appliances. And now you've got the power to conquer that laundry mountain, whether you choose to repair or replace.
Thanks again for all your expert advice. You've truly demystified the world of washers for me.
You're very welcome. And remember, if any other appliance mysteries pop up, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here to help.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. And listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the wild world of washers. Until next time, happy laundering.